everybody, and welcome to Committed Gaming. I am Flute5311,
And I'm Soul Slayer.
and boy, do we have an absolute metric butt ton of news to drop on you all today.
Oh my
Oh my
god, there's
gosh.
just so much that fell on our plates today. It was insane. I was screaming like a little schoolgirl about all the kinds of
I
stuff
was
we
at
had.
work trying to get something done, and I knew once 2 o'clock hit, I was going to be nothing done for like the next hour. So I kind of had, I got a lot of stuff front loaded there, and oh my gosh, hype train is fully engaged, I do believe.
Oh god, yes. Oh my god, it was just amazing.
so let's break down what we're talking about here. Bungie, they live streamed their Reef tour today. That was what we were supposed to get today. And it did not disappoint so far. We were all kind of like, I don't know if House Wolves are going to live up, and we'll still see what the Trials of Osiris and the Prison of Elders have to do. But so far, as far as like day-to-day gameplay kind of stuff, like the day-to-day grind kind of stuff, living up weapons, bounties, things like that, I think we're gonna be okay as far as replayability. Maybe not, who knows. But so yeah, let's start out with where we got our first part today. Where did we go first?
We went to the Reef and then talked about what was her name?
Her name was Petra Venj. She's the Queen's emissary, which she doesn't have her helmet on anymore. Last time we saw Petra was back in September when they landed back kind of in the special area of the tower. And she had her big fanfare, big purple ship, and she had her kind of space helmet on. But now she doesn't have her helmet on. She's got a patch over her eye. And
yeah, which I'm actually kind of interested about the patch over her eye. It's like, what happened there?
Yeah, who knows? But I mean... Yeah, so she's there. She's going to do all of our Queen's Wrath bounties. Okay. Yeah. She showed us the emblems that they've got, which are the same emblems that we had back in September. So that's cool. They've got the 2 Queen shaders. Well, the first 2 rank 2 shaders are the same ones that we had from the old ones, and then they showcased. Well, they didn't actually show them, but there are 2 new shaders which look pretty darn sick. One's like a black and pink, and another one's kind of like a white and black, maybe like a light blue.
Yeah, and that one looks kind of cool.
Yeah, and then they showed a new Queen ship, which is not the ship that I have, but like you can get one of the Queen's, the Reef ships, the Trident flying thingies.
Yeah, the reverse Y-wing ships, like the most unaerodynamic thing in the world.
Exactly, the not fly good ship.
Right.
So it looks like you can get one of those, which is cool. Look, there are a lot of cool ships. Looks like they're going to be here.
It looks like they decided to invest some new parts into it too, because all the ships we've had, even some of the new ships we've had, it's all been recycled parts. Like we had a couple new parts here and there, but most of it's been the same kind of body, like the
same
center
sections. Yeah.
And they actually it looked like they came out with like whole new ships, like all new parts, which is kind of cool. So I'm kind of curious to see the variations we're gonna get.
Yep. So from there, we went over to the new Prison of Elders guy for the House of Judgment. His name was, what was it, Varacks?
Yeah, Varacks the Loyal, House of Judgment. He's interesting fellow. He's missing both of his top arms, and they're both like robot arms now. Which I'm kind of intrigued why everyone on the Reef has something missing. Like Petra's got the eye missing. The Fallen guy has both of his arms missing.
That's part of like the Fallen lore. Like they remove 2 of the arms when you're a Dreg, and you get your arms back after you've like proven yourself.
But that's the thing. That's the lower arms.
Oh, maybe that's it. I don't know. Anyway, so we got this guy who looks pretty like a cool like old shaman kind of guy. And so he's going to be our vendor for Prison of Elders. And on the top row of his stuff, they've got like some weapons and some armor. And I guess that stuff's going to cycle through every week, and that's kind of what we're going to be grinding for each week. So that'll be kind of neat to see. We also have like various ranks. We can see there we've got some emblems or marks. Not emblems. We've got marks and bonds. And we've got our ships, and those ships, by the way, those are all. Each of those ships has a insignia on them for a very different house, another fallen house. So you can rep a fallen house if you want to.
Yeah, and actually the shaders down below are all fallen house colors. So yeah, you can rep it that way as well.
So I don't know why we're being all cool buddy buddy with the Fallen now, but now we can rep Fallen for whatever that's worth.
So can we go in disguise? Can we be like House of Devils and then do Sepkus strike and just
Just
like blend in, just walk in like
know I'm here. You don't see me.
you don't see me, man.
See
I'm
me.
supposed to be here.
What? Somebody's throwing stuff.
Yeah.
So we've got this is our new Prison of Elders guy, and he's going to be giving us all the stuff we need for that. And I'm sure they're going to be, they've got more events coming where they're going to go over Prison of Elders, and they've got another event where they go over Trials of Osiris. So we're just kind of briefly touching over just some of the stuff that we saw today.
Yeah, and the Prison of Elders, they said they're gonna change every time. Like it's gonna be a very replayable thing, which I'm thinking it's gonna be like the different burns and stuff like that. I think they're gonna recreate that, or they could have totally different things every week. It could totally different maps and everything. I'm kind of curious what they're gonna do with that.
Yeah, I agree. And then then they went back, and I guess they went back to where the Queen's area was, and there are all those guards. And as you approach the guards, I'll stand up to attention real quick. So I don't know. Hopefully one day we'll get to go back there and hang out with the Queen.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Who doesn't want to go hang out with the Queen, right?
Right.
And and so from there, then they go down and hang out with Brother Vance, hanging out with all of his candles and his sweet robe, and being the disciple of Osiris and whatnot.
Looking all ominous and such.
Yep, looking like a pretty certified badass. I'm pretty sure he's just going to turn around and just stab somebody in the face.
And you can't see his face. Like you can only see like his chin, because his hood just comes down completely over his face, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, he's basically the guy from Assassin's Creed. That's what I've just come up with.
Right. Yeah.
That's who he is. So so his name is Brother Vance. He's going to be there. Now I assume that eventually we'll find out. He'll get us some passages or tell us how to get to the halls of Amentet, which is supposed to be in Mercury, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Or the big cool area to hang out with Osiris. Maybe we'll actually get to see Osiris, because that would be super cool.
That would be very cool. One of the things they quickly like put their cursor on and then like pulled it off, so I don't think they were supposed to really show that. But one of the things they showed was kind of how the Trials of Osiris is going to work, where there's tiers to the gear that you get based on how many wins you have.
And then they have consumables here where you can get like, what were there was the, well, we'll get into those later, because I think we're going to do another video where we kind of outline what we saw from each section here. So, but anyways, there are different consumables that'll kind of help you get through them faster. Not quite like the tempered buff for Iron Banner, but similarly in the fact that they help you get through a little bit easier, because it's only going to run from Friday to the Tuesday morning reset. It's just going to be over the weekends. It's not going to be. It will be an every weekend thing, they said, but it's not going to be all week long.
No, it's going to be every weekend. So try hard o'clock.
Weekends. Yep. There you go. That's what we all wanted. Oh geez. So from there, they basically just walked around the rest of the tower, hung out. We've got the bounty bot. He's there. There's a post office guy there. Although the post office bot looks freaking sweet with the gold, and oh man, he looks awesome.
Yeah, he's got like all gold parts, and then like the other parts are painted purple, like he's all supposed to be there and such.
Yeah, he looks pretty sick.
He does.
So they've got that. We've got our vault accesses there. They also talked about Zur, and I'm sure they said that it's possible he's going to be there. So that means that my Friday morning Zur videos are going to be a disaster, trying to figure out where the heck that guy's going to show up.
Hey, like I said, I'll head to one, you head to the other, and whoever gets there first wins.
We'll have to divide and conquer where the hell Zur is on Friday mornings at 5:30 at 5 o'clock in the morning. What else did they say? They said that there are other places that will be explorable later. So I'm assuming it's going to be kind of like the Iron Banner, that there'll be special areas or special events that will open up, which is pretty cool.
Which is very cool, yeah. So I'm hoping they're going to come out with like a few new events. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that could be sick. Who knows what they would come up with?
Yeah. And then after they went over everything in the Reef, they brought us to the tower, and they had some special stuff for us there. First thing they did was they brought us over to the speaker, and one of the cool things they showed us with him is that now with all of those those mats that you have, the materials you have, you can now cache those in for their adjacent materials. So radiant shards to radiant energy, or ascendant shards to ascendant energy, or vice versa.
Thank God.
Yes, no, it's fantastic. And then what you could do, if you switch it over to the shard, then you can take the shards, and these are one apiece, so you're not losing anything when you're cycling these through.
I think you lose like what? A couple like 50 glimmer or something like that.
Yeah, it's like 50 glimmer per switch, so it's really not that bad. But then what you do is you can take those shards, and you can either turn them in for motes of light or 200 glimmer. So that's fantastic. Glimmer. Is it 250?
250.
Ah. So that is definitely fantastic. That we've been just building up all of these ascendant shards that we have no use for anymore, but we just keep getting them, and now we can cash them in for actual useful material.
Because we actually I planned on needing ascendant shards and ascendant materials to kind of get some gear up and running off the rip, but the radiant shards and radiant energy, once I've got all my raid gear maxed out, I don't need that stuff anymore. So that stuff's just been accumulating and just sitting there doing nothing.
See, I haven't done Crota enough to have them accumulating, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I have a fair amount, I guess, just sitting there. I mean, not nearly the amount of radiant shards I've got, but I have a fair amount of ascendant energy. So from there, they went down and they hung out with the Crucible vendors, and they kind of showed some different weapons, some of the new stuff you can, how the new armor is going to look. But some of the things that were interesting, and they showed some of the new weapons, and the weapons have new perks and stuff that are coming out. So we'll talk about that here in a second. But some of the most interesting things is that you did not need Crucible marks to buy the shotgun or the gear. You just needed the rank and the marks, but you didn't need the commendation. I'm sorry, you didn't need the commendation to buy the stuff.
Right.
That was interesting. And also, as we've noted, we're going to talk about here in a second here, that there's no final upgrade tree. There's not that third upgrade tree, which is usually just all radiant material that you need to get it, or ascendant material. Yeah, those don't exist.
It's all the either ramping up the attack of a weapon or the defense of the armor that is gone.
Yeah, so I'm curious. I mean, and they all have this new thing that the Ether Light, Ethereal Light,
I think.
Ethereal Light. Apparently, that's going to be our new bread and butter in leveling up weapons. Ethereal Light. That's going to allow us to bring, and they showed it. They're going to allow us to bring our, any legendary and any exotic can now be brought up to spec. So my devil, my comedian that are all level 300, bam, 365.
Gravities.
The deviant, the swarm, if you still have your swarm, because that gun was a beast. That can now be brought up to level 365.
I got my Broken Truth sniper rifle from Dead Orbit. First legendary I got, still holding on to it. I can now use it up to spec. Oh, it's gonna be fantastic.
So, which is cool. And so with that, they now we can all look different, right? We can all take our Dead Orbit gear. You can take whatever faction you want to rep, any Vanguard stuff or Crucible stuff you want to rep. You can all be max light level now, which is pretty slick. So we can all look different. And they also said that you don't have to have the DLC to hit max light level.
Yeah. The materials that we need now to get to max light level, you have the ability to get them in the Nightfalls now.
Yeah. So that's very interesting. I wonder. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what the drop rate's going to be for those types of things. Because if you're going to be upgrading all of your armor, you're going to need a fair amount of etheric light, not ethereal, etheric. Sorry, etheric light. You're going to need a fair amount of it. So to upgrade a weapon to get its max perk, if you're going to like you used to use an exotic shard, it's going to cost 750 glimmer, 20 some sort of material, spirit bloom, helium, whatever, and then 1 etheric light, and that will bring your gun, like your shadow prices and stuff like that, right up to spec.
Yeah, so we're going to need a lot of those. So I'm curious, one thing I'm curious about is if in the Nightfalls you get the Etheric Light, is it going to be like the Ascendant materials where you get like a bunch of them? Or is it going to be you only get one?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good thought. they also talked about the Vex. That was one of the things that they jokingly talked like, Deej, didn't you say that the Vex mythic class is going to be frozen in time? And
Did I say that?
he's like, did I say that? Well, he's like, well, anything that's frozen, you can always warm it back up again. And so the Vex, the OP machine that it is now going to be back up to 365, which means Soul Slayer, we really need to get your butt back into the hard mold vault and get you one of those things.
Yeah, we do, man. It's the only exotic I'm missing out of the content that we have right now.
It's so funny because that's what you need, and I need a necrochasm. At some point, we'll get those things.
And we each have the other one. Yeah.
The other one. Oh, man. So from there, they talked about the new guns that we can get. We can't take, like I said, we can't take our comedians or we can't take our Fate Bringers and re-roll the perks on them. But the new guns we can get, we can go over to the Gunsmith and we can flip and reforge them to get into the perfect rolls. How ridiculous is that going to be?
That's going to be fantastic.
Crucible is going to be miserable.
Oh God, because everyone's going to have their
awesome.
perfect. They're going to have their perfect guns because they're going to re-roll it as many times as they can to get that perfect roll because they can.
Because you can. Because it's going to cost you the gun. It's going to cost you 1 mode of light, 3 weapons parts, and 250 glimmer. And that's it. And you can just sit there and have a field day re-rolling that sucker.
And then you can take all your old materials, cash them in for glimmer, and then go back over there and keep rolling.
just freaking hitting that table, man. Just pull that lever till it goes through.
Yeah.
So that's cool that they're going to allow us to reforge weapons. Not just Iron Banner guns anymore.
It's going to be very, very cool.
So that was pretty. I don't know. That was pretty. I mean, I was just sitting here watching this thing, going, "Man, they cannot make this any crazier," and they did. I mean, I did not see the reforging thing coming in the slightest bit. That was nuts.
Yeah, that was crazy. But I figured they saw how popular it was with the Iron Banner, where everyone was just reforging and reforging and reforging. And
but you would think that would make them not want to do it because how many? I mean, the Efreet Spear, Felwinter's Line, like, oh crap! It made all these super overpowered weapons. Why would we want to do that? Why would we want to give them the power? I don't know. Let's give it to them. They did.
They're probably compensating so that everyone isn't running Felwinter's Line.
Well, and I guess that was it, right? And to go back to our Let's Talk where we talked about that's probably part of the reason why they've severely nerfed special weapon ammo in the Crucible.
Yeah, and I went back to the Crucible. There's shotguns everywhere. People are just being sparing with their ammo, but they're still everywhere.
They're still there. They're not going anywhere.
Oh no.
Yeah, they're just going to make sure that shot counts. But again, I'm really curious how that third upgrade tree is going to handle. Because if you look at the armor, there is no upgrade. There is no armor upgrade tree at all. It's just you get 2 upgrade perks and that's it on the new armor.
Yep, and the weapons. There's no damage boosts. I'm curious how they're going to do that.
But I mean, I think that was about it. I'm looking through my notes here. The Gunsmith is now selling telemetries, so that's cool. We don't have to wait for Xur every time. You don't need. Did we need exotic shards to upgrade guns?
Yes, we still need those.
Still need those. Okay, I don't remember that being talked about. But that was it. I mean, I think that was the only things that the main things we just wanted to hit and get out there to you everybody. Because I think we might go through and do a video for each of the new vendors and kind of break them down a little bit, just some of the speculation stuff that we saw.
Yeah, the information that we have on them.
So cool. I don't know, man. I'm super hyped.
I'm really excited about all this because, oh my God, it's just I've been screaming about everyone looking the same since the beginning of the game. Like all endgame users look exactly the same, and it's like now they fixed it. They finally fixed it. Yep. It's fantastic.
It is fantastic, and I think it's cool that they're going to allow everybody to be light level 34, which would be interesting because I think if they do, the other side of speculation that there might be a raid coming say midsummer, and maybe that will bring us up to 35 question mark. Who knows?
35
Who knows
or
what
36,
crazy things they're going to come up with. But this was a very pleasant surprise, good update. I think this puts a very positive spin on what the House of Wolves is going to offer us. I think this is going to set aside a lot of the concerns that people were having. Once that came out that there was no raid, people were like, that's it, this game is dead. But I think this is going to allow for a lot of customization, a lot of people to grind stuff out to get to the guns, then to grind out the stuff to reforge things to get it perfect. And I think this is going to allow a lot of those people to get to the in-game use. They gave out all these stats and only 15 or whatever % people have actually completed the raid. This will allow almost everybody to get to in-game quicker and actually complete all these things like the raids and the Nightfalls that you and I just do all the time because we're just
dorks at that point.
We've committed to getting to this point.
We are committed.
We are in fact committed gaming.
And insert plug here.
So I think I think that's one of the things. I think that they saw the numbers of people who actually play the game and how can we get all those people together? How can we get the 85% of our accounts up there, up to spec, enjoying all the aspects that our game has to offer.
Yeah, and I think they really did need this kind of intel drop because like you said, when they came out with the fact that there is no raid, it's just everyone just died inside because it's then what's the point of Destiny at that point? So I think they really needed this info drop to be able to recover from that.
Although I still fear for our 6-person raid team, I think that's going to shoot a lot of raid teams in the foot. But we'll see. Hopefully that won't happen.
Hopefully you don't get infighting where it's now we're splitting up into threes. Who wants the best people?
Right. Goodness gracious. Well, cool. Well, I think that's all we have. We covered a lot. We've got so much more to talk about. There's going to be so much more coming. They're going to talk about on the weekly update coming tomorrow. They're going to cover Crucible and Vanguard commendations. They tweeted that out later that they forgot to cover that, so that's going to be coming out in the weekly update. So we'll have more stuff coming tomorrow. It's just going to be a complete train full of hype from here till the 19th.
Yep, and this is just the first. They're going to be doing one of these every week with new intel every week about all this kind of stuff. Until the DLC drops. So it's if this is day one, what's day two going to be like?
I have no idea. They've set an awful high precedent to start out with, which is good. I think they needed to do that.
They really did. They needed to rebuild up that hype train.
Yep, I think so. Well, alrighty. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm Flute5311.
And I'm Soul Slayer.
And to all you gamers out there, stay committed. The hype train!